pass. So we wanted to have something that makes sure that it is grounded, and you're able, for example, to call people to order through that there are processes and that kind of thing. Most importantly, though, it was about the symbol, having a uniting symbol for all our people to be directed to whoever they are voting. Because you see, if you want people to vote for your presidential candidate, for example, and cascade that to members of parliament and other leaders, local government leaders and all that, it's important that there is a uniting
There's an identity.
symbol. Yeah. And in other countries, of course, they do it better than here, where you can possibly register an alliance, political alliance.
Okay.
If that option was there, I'm sure I would have taken it. Because when you have an alliance is able to register a symbol. But in Uganda, the law does not allow that. Okay. So that is how we ended up deciding that let's have a political party. Yeah.
Were you thinking in that political party that you wanted to front a presidential candidate, or you were looking at it more broadly of we want to have leaders? Because
7 of them reached out to us and they wanted our president to run under that their flag or their political parties. But also, at the time, we had made a decision that we must take on General Museveni, because first of all, he had illegally and blatantly removed the age limit in a manner that we considered extremely gross and wrong. And so we believe that our president would be able to take him on, and we believe that, like I say, we did very well even in the election, and we were able to challenge, this whole notion that young people should just be there to be praise singers of these people who are in power and that kind of thing. We said, let's have young people on board, let's bring the young people on board, let's try to speak to the young people of this country that it is their time, that enough is enough, to them being told that, you are leaders of the future has to be today. And so that is, I'll say that we knew from the word go that we needed to take on General Museveni, whether under a political party or not, but at least that decision had been made.
All right, we're going to...
That argument of regional party is always, peddled by the regime, because you find it very interesting that on one hand, they say that the party is regional, but on the other hand, they say that, I'm sure you've heard these two contradictory positions, that you're fighting the establishment, but on the other hand, that you are... So they give different arguments depending on who they are dealing with, because they want to use those opportunities to put us down. Even when our president is on Uganda Wakabaka, they Kuruda, the Bagamba, Muli Baganda, Kakati Babuza, Washington, Chilimbo Chimune, Chimilako, Chulimba Chimune, Baga Chimuleko, Fojoko, Virachino, so that is what they always do and say. But going into the election, of course, we had many challenges and we had to work in a very, very short time. I'll tell you that case which was reported, disorganized assembly, would have had many, many more leaders. Because you remember the ruling of that case was delivered after nomination. So it is only leaders who really say, let's take the risk. All sorts of things that they named us.
Yes.
But we have remained steadfast. Just see where we are. In 4 years, we have the best headquarters of any political party in the country. And if you just go around the country and see what we've been able to do in other areas, not just structurally, but even most importantly in terms of bringing people together, trying to ensure that the conversation on governance happens everywhere, whether it's about the border stage, whether it is in Chikomando place, whether it is in Chibanda cha Filimu, people are talking about their country. And so, for me, I think the most important thing is leading by example. Look at our law, Honorable Senyo. I think he's doing very well in Parliament. Yeah, you may say he has just come in, but see what he's been able to do. Put the government on constant pressure, put them on check. And if you compare, for example, for the short time he's been there, the record of Honorable Senyo, I don't want to bring in other controversies, but so this idea...
controversies are attached to you.
Yeah, but this idea of that young leaders are incompetent, Goes away when you see what we've been able to do,
Yeah.
what our young leaders in different spaces are doing. Yes, there are a few leaders who may not have served our expectations, but I'll tell you that majority of the leaders that NUP has fielded are doing very, very well in their different spheres.
Okay.
We have the chairperson of Mpiji district, very young man, not yet 30 years of age, but he's doing very well. We listen to the people of Mpiji and they're happy with his service, and many other in many other places. So I think for us, how we are able to keep coming to the people is to lead by example.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are a young.
First of all, I am someone who believes that leaders should stick to their words. And so when General Museveni said that first of all he would never run beyond 75 years of age, I believed him. I thought he would stick to that word. And also because I've seen how countries where leaders stay for long in power, how they end, how they normally end. So that was chiefly my disagreement with the system. You know, with all the problems we have in our country, I think many people are saying, let him get to 75 years of age, retire, and then the country will get a fresh start. But when this talk of removing age limit started, myself and many other people
That was
say,
your fundamental
that was
disagreement.
my fundamental disagreement. That was my point of departure. Even previously, of course, I was disagreed with many issues that were happening, the corruption, the nepotism, so many things that have gone wrong in the country. But like I said, if a leader is able to leave power and then you have a fresh start, maybe the new administration can be able to sort out those problems. But where a leader thinks they should be in power forever, that is extremely wrong and very dangerous for a country. So that was my point of departure from the NRM, and I believe many people, of course, like I said, many people have come from different political parties that we work with now, and so we are now in NUP. And so, but of course, the interesting thing is when you hear people who peddle those things, oh, this was still in NRM. If you look behind, you will see that they are the ones who actually are in NRM. They are not even in NRM, but they are political merchants. They go get money from the regime. You saw, for example, that those people who came and called themselves Holy Alliance, which was certainly an unholy alliance. Before long, Joseph Kabuleta, who was part of them, came out to say they received money from Museveni to come and disorganize the opposition. And such people, who some of whom call themselves pastors, have the guts to stand on the microphone and start saying that people belong to NRM. So it is ridiculous, to say the least.